The following video was inspired by my girlfriend. Most of the credit goes to her.
Hey everybody, Xylon Blue 1 here, and this was an interesting movie. It's, I think the title kind of explains why I just had to go looking for it. Saw it on the shelf at Walmart, immediately had to buy it. Nazis at the Center of the Earth. Okay, has a potential cool setup. And just, my cat's in the room. Hi cat. And, okay, so the first thing I noticed on here, once I got home and got looking at it real well, is, okay, Nazis and zombies. This should be pretty cool. And then, when I got home, I got looking at it closer, and I see a friggin' spaceship thing. And then there's that guy. The one who looks kind of like Ian McKellen. So my interest was piqued right there. Then I saw that it had, you know, Jake Busey in it and Dominique Swain. Never heard of Swain, but, you know, I thought Jake Busey looked familiar. Scary Busey's son for one, and for two, he played Backfire in Cross, and he was like Ace Levy in Starship Troopers. Thank you, IMDb. And also a thing I noticed about that, just looking at the case, was that it was made by The Asylum, which is usually the company that makes the sci-fi originals, you know, those off-brand B-movies and the big movie hits. But anyway, here we go with reviewing stuff. I didn't really like how we just kind of jumped right in with the title card. There wasn't really any introduction at all. There was like 3 seconds of the moon and then, boom, Nazis at the center of the earth. I don't get it. And okay, so we're starting out at this silly little Nazi airport and they're loading some machine onto an airplane. And then Americans attack and then the Ian McKellen dude escapes on the plane. And you don't really know what the hell's going on, which is a reoccurring theme throughout most of this movie. But it's all that, and then it just shows the Ian McKellen dude getting away on the plane. The guy who played the character I keep calling Ian McKellen was Christopher K. Johnson. But whatever, I like calling him Ian McKellen. And yay, notebooks. And then it shifts to present-day Antarctica, where a bunch of scientists are doing some expedition, trying to collect cores and whatever. And two of them, I didn't know their names for like most of the movie, which was kind of pathetic. But they discovered a thing with the swastika on it, and then, you know, gas mask Nazis show up and kidnap them. What? Okay, and then it flashes over to Jake Busey's character, who he plays some scientist, whose name I also didn't finally realize until like the end of the movie. It's like Reichstag or something. A German name and I didn't catch on, but you'll see what I'm talking about later. And they're talking about some sort of like flesh-eating bacteria, which I kind of knew was going to be important later in the movie, just from when they're saying flesh-eating bacteria, but, you know, whatever. Could just be a minor plot thing. But apparently, Dr. whatever had used his staff and experiments before, and they didn't like it too much. And what the movie starts to do for a while that kind of pissed me off was it would jump between showing Gary Busey as a scientist and all the scientist stuff going on there. There's a whole team of people, but I didn't remember their names, and truthfully, spoiler alert! By the end of the movie, most of them were dead anyway. But it kept jumping between that team and the two people who were kidnapped. And one of the things that it showed was the kidnapped guy whose name was Mark, because it kidnapped a male and a female. It showed the Ian McKellen doctor. Dude looked good for being around since the 40s, and this takes place in present day, showing him cutting off Mark's face. The fuck? And anyway, it jumps back to our lovely scientist people, and they follow the trail of the kidnapping to a deep cavern. And when you find a strange cavern in Antarctica, what's your first thought? Let's rappel down in. Then it flashes back, and it shows the female running and escaping from whatever prison cell door was by using a fork to keep the door from closing. You'd think the Nazi guard would have noticed. But anyway, she's running, and then discovers a room where, you know, people's flesh is missing. This movie is like no sense at all. Oh, and apparently, I'm going to try to go away from my stupid little book, because this is going to plot summary for what I was trying to do. And then it shows that at the center of the Earth isn't molten magma, or lava. It's a continent with some big light source that they kept showing shots of, which never really did anything, ever. And, ugh. Okay, and what's funny about this movie, and funny as in pathetic, is the Nazis that speak English not only speak perfect English, but their accents are terrible. Like, holy shit. I throw in an example here, but we all know how much YouTube likes to use copyrighted material. Is this comment and criticism? Yeah. Is it be fair use because of that? Yeah. Am I going to push it? No. But it shows, yeah. Oh, and this page chick has German blood, so the Nazis are all for it. Let's have her help out, shall we? And then this is the choppy review. I don't care. It's episode 1. Give me a break. And in the past, there's been like terrible accidents, and and the Nazis had alien research on UFOs. Yeah, okay. Blah 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 blah. Oh, and then finally, the scientist group, after rappelling down the huge cavern and finding their way to the center of the Earth, discovers this huge hangar in the middle of nowhere. You'd think this was suspicious. And then, spoiler alert! And apparently Busey's character is a Nazi. I kind of didn't see that coming, but at the same time kind of did. That Ian McKellen lookalike dude winds up being Dr. Mengen, the guy who did all those horrific experiments in Auschwitz to the prisoners. And what really pissed me off about his character is the lines were so goddamn hard to understand because of the accents. I had to crank my TV up all the way and still could barely hear. Ugh. Oh, let's see. Somebody gets all pissed off at the Nazis and says something about it. Then one of the Nazis shoots him with a fucking laser gun! Nazis have laser guns. Sure, later they say that, oh, the Nazis have become more advanced scientifically than the rest of the world, blah, 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 blah. And the Nazis are trying to take over the world still. You know? Let's try to make this not... The whole movie really doesn't make any sense ever, because it gets weirder. You know what? I'm not even going to bother using my notebook anymore to try to do this. Trying to script this was stupid anyway. Okay. So pretty much, they agree, Reichstag's team agrees to help the Nazis, because if they don't, they die. Okay, whatever. And there's one scene that's pretty much a rape scene that's almost interrupted once by one character, by Reichstag, because there's like 3 women in the research team. I don't know. I'm not using film clips to help, so I'm using my terrible descriptions. But it shows that, and then, like, one of them's carried off to a lab to have something done to her. One of them is Reichstag's, like, fuck buddy or something. So she gets out of it. And then the last one's just left her to be raped or eaten. I don't know. It just shows all the guys going at her. Maybe they were taking her flesh. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, well, one of the girls who was taken away, May. I don't remember how to describe her. Sorry. Whatever. And she's using some experiment to, like, take her stem cells, but that doesn't work. And then they find out that Melinda is pregnant, so let's try fetal stem cells. And here's one scene that was even, like, strange for me, and I found it a little hard to watch. They actually have, like, an abortion scene with a vacuum tube, and it wasn't pretty. You don't see anything because, you know, her legs are all... Ah, shit. I just hit the tripod with my foot. Oopsies. That was bad. Whatever. I'll just move. With a sheet over the knees and everything, but you still see it. That was hard, even for me. You can have your pro-abortion, anti-abortion argument in the comments if you want to. Moving on. Okay, and here is where the movie takes an even bigger what the fuck turn. Okay, so, spoiler alert! Okay, the reason why they got the fetal stem cells, which worked, was to revive Hitler as a mech. Yes, we have a mechanized robot body with Hitler's head. That's what the machine was. What the hell? And then the Nazis had this like alien hover ship which was on the back, which I didn't know what the hell that was at first. I was like, Nazis and aliens? Cool! And then... Okay. I know that playing Hitler requires a stash, but the mustache that they had on the actor that played Hitler, you could practically see the fucking glue on it, okay? It was terrible. He looked like shit. Sure, he was a preserved head, but he looked like shit. Let's see. Then, the Nazis are going to the surface through all the ice in Antarctica and shooting a big laser beam out the top of it. I don't fucking know. I don't know. And then once they break the surface, oh, this gets funny and kind of stupid. They break the surface, and there's this like observation plane with Australian guys, and this hover ship is huge, okay? And this plane doesn't see the hover ship until it almost fucking crashes into it, and they're like, oh no. Then they go to radio control, they radio their control tower people, whatever, and then they're like, free to engage. Okay, you're clear to engage and get yourself killed. Oh, what's kind of cool and interesting, I'm itching my eye on camera, I don't care, is that the plane was taken down by an EMP. That was kind of cool. And then, I don't really know. Then there's like this attack from like American, you sent 4 planes to take down a Nazi spaceship, like you don't know what it is, whatever. And the Americans are like completely annihilated by it. Oh, and then to take over the world, Paige, I don't know why I said Morgan. Paige and the people who are still living, like, are running through the ship trying to escape and get the hell out, and they discover that Nazis are going to take over the world by using that flesh-eating bacteria to destroy major cities around the world and like hold the Earth hostage for antidotes or whatever. I don't know. It was weird. I stopped kind of paying attention, but whatever. And at one point, Mech Hitler, Robo Hitler. I'm gonna call him Robo Hitler now instead of Mech Hitler. Robo Hitler chases down the main character guy who lived at the end. His name was like Jacob. Yeah, Jacob. Not Reichstag. Jacob was another dude who I haven't mentioned because I'm terrible at this. But Jacob and Paige are running away, and it shows Mech Hitler Robo Mech Hitler shooting at him. But what really kind of pissed me off was the CG was so bad, it was like out of an old PC game, okay? And, oh, Reichstag and Melinda, because they're like the Nazis' friends, because they're both like Aryans, are in the control room, and then they annihilate the control room with a fancy grenade that vaporizes stuff. Then the ship crashes. Jacob and Melinda had made it, not Melinda, Jacob and Paige had made it out in an escape pod, so they're all running out, and then the ship crashes, and surprise, Robo Hitler wasn't dead, and then one of the best lines that I think fits most of the movie came out of Jake's mouth.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Okay, they're gonna have a fit for that clip. I don't care. And, oh, and Jacob, like, has a vial of this flesh-eating virus, so after they, like, do a little distraction thing with Paige and whatever, he injects it into Robo Hitler, so Robo Hitler dies and falls back through the ice into the bowels of Antarctica or whatever. And then, ugh! This pisses me off! It was so horrible! And then, here's how the the movie ends, which they hinted at the beginning, but then you're like, why did you put this in here? The end of the movie is Jacob proposing to Paige. What? And then, of course, you know, you get usual cheesy rock song in the credits. And some of the... Okay, now it's time for me to bitch about the movie overall instead of just that really shoddy overview of the plot. Okay, so we have stealing flesh to keep alive. But that's actually stealing skin to wear it to repair organs and stuff. There's no real... They're not zombies. Why'd you call them zombies? Even in the movie they refer to them as zombies. Zombies requires being dead. Well, undead. Not just dead and almost dead and taking new body parts. That's not zombies, okay? And most of the movie was filmed too damn dark, but most sci-fi originals by the Asylum are. I don't know why this is. Even shots that were in sunlight were too dark. What? And the acting in this thing was, pretty mediocre. The Asylum, usual B movie. The dialogue was mediocre. The special effects, they were okay. They were fit a low budget movie, but they were Nazis at the center of the earth. What? What? If I had to rate this thing out of a scale of 10, give it a 4.5. It was okay, but it fell short on so many things. I mean, I realize that with the whole Nazi, there's only so many plot lines with Nazis you can do. I mean, I saw one thing that was in like an issue of Game Informer that was really awesome, where, you know, it was like Nazis and dinosaurs. That could be cool. Or even better, Nazi and robots. I'm just trying to mishmash this all together. I don't know. If you want to watch it for yourself, go for it. It's Nazis at the center of the earth. When I got it at Walmart, I got it for $10. So, was it worth $10? Not really. But, you know, I've blown more money than that on something I hated too. So, until next time, I'm Xylon Blue 1, and that's my review.